Hello and welcome to Foolproof Friday. I'm Gavin, and for the next 15 minutes or so we're going to move, stretch and build some strength, all from the comfort of a chair. Now, why do we do this? Well, I work in the care sector and have done for a number of years. And one thing that we do hear constantly is that people want to feel more confident and steady. And as we age, we lose our muscle mass and our bone mass. The muscle mass is sarcopenia. We lose about 1% muscle mass after the age of about 50 every single year. So unless you're doing something with a bit of resistance training to maintain that muscle or maybe build upon it, then you are going to find yourself in a bad place in the future and you won't be able to get up off the chairs. But here we are today. Thank you for joining me. And listen, if you've ever worried about falling or helping somebody else stay safe, this is the place to be. Today we can start together. There's no floor work, there's no jumping, there's no fuss. It's gentle exercises and workout. But before I get into the workout, which will probably take about 15 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a quick pitch. We go live like this here on Chasing Care every Friday at 5:30. And we will be sending out a questionnaire, a poll to the various platforms asking whether or not the 5:30 slot is a good slot or whether or not we should maybe think about doing it later on the Friday. So look out for that. Also, if you look in the description below, you'll find a free fall-proof toolkit. That's in the video description. You don't need to pay for that. It's all part of the service that Chasing Care offer to people like you. We're here to give you some strength and exercises, but also to give you good quality care advice. And if you missed it on Tuesday, and every Tuesday we do the same, we do a care tip. It's a Tuesday tip about how simple things can be if you know what you're doing. Sadly, most people don't. Oh, by the way, we have a book coming out as well called Caring Smart. Look out for that. But from Tuesday, we spoke about a care diary, so you can unlock real support. Again, the link's below. So while we're moving, or more to the point, while you're enjoying the movement session today, I'll explain what document today could protect you tomorrow. So you ready? Let's get started. Now, whenever I do these warm-ups, oh, by the way, you might be asking, why is he holding a mobile phone? It's so I don't forget what I'm meant to be talking about today. Otherwise, I'll get told off. And you might be looking around the room going, hold on, he's got some weights down there and he's got tins of coconut milk there and water. Well, all of these things are little props that you might want to use over time. Because if you don't have weights, you might use a tin or you might use a bottle of water. And we'll be using those a little bit later. I should have said, always bring some water to drink as well. It's really important that you maintain hydration, especially in weather like today. And it's nice. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is warm up, and we're going to start off with seated marches. Now, I do understand that there's some people that join me today, and by the way, say hi to me and maybe tell me where you are and maybe what your age is, etc. I do understand that not everyone can march by picking their feet up off the floor. So if you can't do that, just lift your heels off the floor and march. See that? On the side. Up, down, up, down. Now there might be some that don't feel too steady either. So hold on to the chair and that's okay. But if you feel a little bit going for it type of mood, why don't you march? Boom, boom, boom. Now the one thing I do say in every session is we talk about posture at the top half of the body. Just because the bottom half is moving, we've got about 10 more seconds of this, because we're moving the bottom half doesn't mean to say that you're allowed to slouch down like this. I want to see good posture, shoulders back, not tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's move into the next one and I'll finish off what I was saying. Shoulder rolls. So relax yourself, keeping that posture. Here we go, let me show you. Keeping that posture. Tucking the belly in if you can. That's your core, tucking your belly in. It will help with stability around your hips and your legs while you're walking. Relax your shoulders forward, lift them up, round and down. And then we lift them back up, round and down. What we want to do is not be tense in the shoulders. A lot of people, when they do exercises, get tense in the shoulders. The last thing we want is you to be like this while you're doing your workout. So relax your shoulders, relax your hands, relax your grip, and up and down and back. Okay? Here we go. Up and down and back. How does that feel? Hold the belly in. I'm watching you. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next. Lift your arms up. Now, if you want to, you can have them out front slightly if that's easier. Any pain at all in the shoulders, take it easy. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a physiotherapist. Go and seek advice if you're feeling any pain. If you can only pick up your hands to here, that's fine. But we're going to start with little rolls forwards like this. If you're able to, bring your hands right the way up. Okay. Let's get those a little bit bigger now, those circles. You don't need to go, it's not a race. Okay, big circles. And let's go back down into the small circles. Smaller, smaller, and then just pump those small circles. And let's go backwards. So we're changing directions. If you've been going forward, you're now going to go backwards. Small circle. And getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this warm-up is all about a little bit of cardio. Yeah, it's building up some mobility by using some cardio. It's 3, 2, 1. That's good. And relax those shoulders. Next, we're just going to do some neck turns. Okay? So neck turns, nice and simple. We're going to go there to the center and then there and back to the center. Okay? Now, while we're getting warm, while you're doing this, let me tell you why we gave you the tip on Tuesday. Keep moving it gently. By the way, don't snap it. Don't bang, bang. No, gentle left and right. At Caring Smart this Tuesday, I called it the most powerful word that you could have in care. No, it wasn't love or patience. It was that word, document. And why did I choose that word, document? Simple. Because if you or a loved one needs some support and you're dealing with things like falls, confusion, GP visits, writing it down gives you proof when you're trying to get things like attendance allowance and NHS continuing healthcare. In their eyes, the professionals, if you don't have it written down, there is no evidence and it's a non-starter. Okay, well done with the neck. Now let's do some torso twists. Put your hands up here or here. It's up to you. You can either cross your hands or touch them on the shoulder. And simply all we're going to do, make sure your feet are planted. Nice posture on the torso, belly in. And what we're going to do is just twist. And back to the center. And twist. And you should be starting to feel some nice stretches. Okay. Try not to move your hips and legs around like so. That's not what we're doing. We're just twisting as far as you can. If you can only go there, you can only go there. So as I was saying, if you don't have documentation with the evidence, with the diary, with the history, you can't get these attendance allowances in full because they just won't believe you. I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's the truth. So if you want a care plan, if you want some financial support, you need to document it. And a simple diary is all you need to do. And perhaps what you could do, I've mentioned it before, we have a toolkit in the description below. Go and find it. Simple toolkit where you can write things that happen every day, however big or small they are. Okay. So there's your warm-up done. Nice torso twist. Well done. Boom. Okay. And remember, I might be talking about other things while you're doing the exercises, but I'm here to give some advice as well as some support with the exercises. Okay. You can always rewind, cut me out, and just look at the exercises that I'm giving you. So that's our warm-up done. We've done our shoulders, we've done our neck, we've done our legs, we've done our core and body. So next what we're going to do is a little bit of strength for the upper and lower body. So if you shuffle across to the front of your chair with your legs out in front of you, we're going to do seated leg lifts. Again, if you need to hold on to the chair for stability, please do that. I don't want you falling off the chair. If you can only lift your legs up a little bit, that's absolutely fine. You turned up today. Some people didn't. A leg lift, we want to do 10 per side. So simply lift your leg off the floor and put it down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. Good. Shake it off. Don't forget, keep that posture, tummy tucked in. Let's not do the rounded shoulders. Let's sit up as straight as we can and relax the muscles in the shoulders. We're moving to the left leg. We're going to lift it 10 times. Okay, are you ready? 1. And if you can only lift it off the floor just a fraction, just lift it off the floor as far as you can. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, how was that? Okay. Right, next, put your feet planted on the floor. And what we're going to do is a heel tap. We're going to put our feet out and place the heel down on the floor. Now, again, you can either do this individually, like so, or you can do them both together. It's up to you. If you're going to do them both together, I'll tell you, it's going to be a little bit harder. But if that's what you want to do and you feel you can, maybe you can only do 5. Well, that's absolutely fine. But you're doing it. So here we go. I'm going to talk to you while you're doing it. So I'm going to do one leg at a time so I can talk while I'm working out. So a heel tap out and then foot back. And you see, the thing is, strength is actually the #1 thing that protects us about falls. We're not training to be in the Olympics. We're just building strength that we can use every day, such as standing up, reaching up to the shelves, catching ourselves when we fall. All of these need some strength and flexibility, and you're doing a great job. Have you changed leg yet? If you're doing one leg at a time, let's change our legs. Brilliant. And remember, it isn't always just for you, this workout session. If you're a family carer or you're supporting somebody else, how about asking them to do it with you? Do this little workout. You can see that it's not difficult. It's gentle. And it may help them if they're the ones that are going to be tumbling and falling. 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. Okay, so that's your heel taps. Now next we're going to do some seated knee extensions. Now there's a number of ways that you can do this as well. We talk about regression. So the most difficult, hold your leg out and pull your toes forward. Okay, can you see this? Leg out and you're pulling your toes forward and pushing your knee back down. So it's up, pull your toes forward and making sure your knees go down. Okay, that's one way. Or you can put your feet on the floor, put the heel on the floor like so, and pull your toes back, making sure that you're pushing down with your knee. Okay, so let's do that. Pull the toes back. You'll feel a little nice pull behind the back of the knee. Let's change foot, change leg, pull the toe back, making sure your knee's down. Okay. And when you're doing this sort of thing, you can put this in the care diary as well, you know. Just because you're doing something positive, even if it's a 10-minute workout as a carer with the person that needs the support. Let's change legs again. I like this one. I like the pull here. Building strength in the knee is so important because it helps with the stability down your calf, your ankles, and into the little bones in your toes. Just imagine when you're walking along and you put your foot down on something which is a bit bumpy. If you've got good knee strength, it will help with your thighs and your calf, and you'll be a little bit more stable. Anyway, as I was saying, sorry. This sort of thing that you're doing, put it in the diary, because all of these things that we're doing today can add value if you're applying for attendance allowance and any other kind of support. Okay. So if that's news to you, coming back to it again, check out our diary in the notes below and the guide that we give you in terms of attendance allowance. It's all there. So that was seated knee extensions. Now what I want you to do is move to the upper body. Now there's a number of ways you can do this. What we're going to do is arm punches. So you can either just punch out like so, out to the front, twist your hand, twist your hand, twist your hand like so. If you're finding that a bit easy, in comes my water bottles. Pick up a couple of water bottles that you got in the fridge and do it with the water bottles. Makes a nice sound as well, doesn't it? I suppose if you drank the water, it'd be lighter and lighter. Carry on doing it. How about using some coconut milk that's in your cupboard, but you're never going to eat it? Nobody likes it. It's not true, but it sounds good for the video. Maybe some tins of soup, tins of baked beans. Anyone that signed up with this before, with me before, has seen baked beans. If that's too easy, you might want to be using some light weights. Now these are about 3 kilogram. You don't need 3 kilogram. You can use 1 kilogram, half a kilogram, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you don't find this easy at all, get rid of the weights. If you can't lift your arms up, don't worry, punch down. Just punch down, punch down. Brilliant. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, take a sip of water. If you haven't taken a sip of water while we've been doing this, you should have. And it's probably my bad for not telling you. Okay, so arm punches. So what have we done? We've done your ankles. We've done your knees and calves and thighs. We did a twist for the core. We've done the shoulders now as well. So let's do the arms. Let's do some seated bicep curls. Okay? Again, you don't need to have anything in your hands if you don't want. Just do this. There we go. Of course, it will be more beneficial if you get your coconut milk. I don't know why that's making me laugh. If you feel a little bit more ambitious, go and get your weights. Boom. How's this feeling, by the way? Is it good? Have you forgotten to hold your core in? Your belly? Hold your core in. It's so important. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. Okay, put those down for a few seconds. The next one we're going to do is an overhead press, or something you might like to call the push to the ceiling, or get out of the cupboard sort of exercise. Again, use some weights if you wish, no weights if you wish. And look, I do understand that a number of people on here today may struggle to lift their arms above their heads, and that's absolutely fine. I have a challenge with my rotator cuff. I have physiotherapy nearly every week, and it does cause me some pain sometimes. So you might see me doing a bit more on this side than that side, but it's up to you. If you only want to go to there because that's as far as you can go, don't force it. Remember what I said to you right at the beginning. Any pain, stop it. Forget that no pain, no gain thing. Yeah? If there's real pain, stop it. So I'm going to go with the coconut milk, I think, today. You ready? Let's turn sideways for you so you can see this. My hands are not out the front, they're rested back there. The scapula, that's the big bone in the back here, that's nice and relaxed, and shoulders are down. Yeah, down and back. You ready? Let's go. We've got to push straight up. Straight up. Turn around. And there is one thing that I forgot to say right at the beginning that you should do every day, and certainly part of this exercise routine. Smile. While you're doing this, it's so much easier when you're smiling. So you keep pushing that up and down, and I'll just double check that I'm covering everything that I said I would be doing for you today. So we're there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now you might have thought, well, it's finished now. Not quite. We always have to cool down. It helps with your balance and flexibility if you have a bit of control. So we're going to go through a couple of yoga-ish moves which might help you with that balance and breath work. So, you ready? We're going to do, the first one, we're going to do, and you've probably heard of it, it's called cat-cow. Now I'm going to have to turn sideways for this to give you a better view as to what it looks like. But imagine that you're sitting in a, by the way, this is really good if you've got a long journey, you're on an aeroplane, you're restricted in a seat of some description, you know, small seat on an aeroplane. So we're going to start off, we're going to think about our shoulders and our hips. So you classic cat-cow, we're going to take our shoulders back and head up, causing an arch in the back here from the hip. So the hip is effectively rotating forward, the head is coming up and back. Now what we're going to do is reverse that by pushing the hips back and out, the shoulders forward and rolling the back. So it's back, nice curve in, and then forward and back and forward. Don't forget to hold your belly in and back and forward. Do you see what I mean about the cat-cow? Do you see how that works in yoga? You've probably seen people do the cat-cow. So we're arching our back one way and then we're opening up the other way. Brilliant. Okay, so that was your seated cat-cow. You want to be inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on to the next one. A seated forward fold. What does that look like? Well, From the hip, oh look, I've got a rainbow on me. Does that make me precious? I don't know. From the hip, we're just going to relax ourselves forward with our chest up, moving from the hips. Try not to go with the roundy shoulders. I'll come back this way. Try not to just do this. We want to move it from the hip with the chest up and moving forward. Make sense? Okay. By the way, if there's any exercises that you're feeling particularly difficult or don't quite understand, feel free to put a note down below. I do read them all. So, seated fold forward. Okay, here we go. And you'll find a nice stretch in your spine. And if you wish, breathe in and then breathe out and let it go. And let's go back up. Let's do that again. And when you get to the bottom, have a little breath in and then drop down. It's funny, and I hear about this so often. Exercise gurus tell us to take that extra breath. And I still can't work out to this day how that extra breath in can help us get deeper into squats and into folds and all kinds of things. So let's go from the hip. Down, chest up, breathe in, and then let it drop a bit further. That's amazing. Almost got my nose on the floor then, didn't I? Okay, we'll do one more from the hip, chest forward. Breathe in and let it go. Now you might have seen that I have my hands behind. There's no reason for that. If you want to put your hands outside the front, if you can only get to your knee, that's fine. If you can touch your shin, fine. If you can get down to your toes, fine. If you can touch the floor, fine. Okay? You do you. Nobody's going to judge you. Well, except if there's somebody in the room with you. But I can't see what you're doing. There we go. So that was seated cat-cow, followed by a seated forward fold. Next, and we're nearly finished, ankle circles. So just put your heel on the floor and start moving your feet round and round. Okay? One at a time, round and round. Hold on to the chair if you need to. If you feel ambitious, you can pick your foot off the floor and do the same thing. Okay? Now let's go around the other way with that right foot or left foot, whichever one you started with. Try and keep your posture up. I sagged down then. Oh, I forgot. Shoulders back, change foot. If you want to put your heel on the floor and do it, put your heel on the floor. If you want to hold the chair to do it, you hold the chair. Yeah? Go the other way. Now these stretches, they might not feel particularly flashy, but trust in me, they are golden, really are. They help to keep your spine mobile, forward fold, cat-cow, and your ankles stable. There's a whole load of bones in these ankles that we don't even know that we've got. But if they're not flexing and able to move, get rigid and then you start shuffling around. That's not good. Okay, there we go. Well done. 3 more things to do. So what I'd like you to do this time is a seated side reach. So we'll put our hands up and over our heads and we'll just bend ourselves over, feeling a nice stretch down the side. Again, if you can't lift your hand up above your head, maybe you can do it to here. Yeah, can you do that? All of these stretches help prevent those stumbles. And I always say, mobility is strength's best friend. Do you like that? Mobility is strength's best friend. Think about that. Let's go to the other arm. If you can do it above your head, fine. And we'll stretch. While we're breathing, because don't forget to breathe, while we're breathing, if you're finding this useful, maybe hit the like button. And most of the people that come onto this, just carry on by the way, most people who come and watch these sessions, they don't subscribe. About 90% of the people that come and watch us, they come and go and come and go. But if you like this session, please just click the subscribe, hit the blue bell, and that will remind you next week that we're here. So that's your side stretches done. We're going to do some hand and wrist stretches now. Put hands out your front, widen your fingers, and make them go round and round. Back round the other way. Perfect. Well done. One more after this. Let's do your hands up and down. Why am I concentrating on the wrists just at this moment? Think about it. What's the first thing that you try and use? Yeah? The first thing that you try and use when you're going to fall over. The wrist. So if you've got that flexibility to get it into the right place, that's perfect. There we go. Wrist and hand stretches. Now I would say one extra thing to you as well. None of these exercises that we've been through today are impossible to do sitting on the sofa or in your favourite armchair. Think about that. While you're watching TV, can you do a side twist? Yes. Can you put your arm above your head? Yes. Can you do the cat cow? Yes. So please don't wait until next Friday before you integrate some of these simple exercises, these gentle workouts into your day. And if you find it helpful, maybe tell somebody else that you know that they should be doing these things. And I'd love to see them here next week. Finally, breathing. What I'd like you to do is relax. Just relax. And then we're going to have one big breath in. And then we're going to exhale out of the mouth. So a big breath through the nose. And breathe out. You might want to open your chest up while you do this as well. So watch this one. Breathe in. Opening the chest. Breathe out. And while you do a few more of those, coming back to if you're finding this useful, as I said, hit the like button. But we've also got a channel on Buy Me a Coffee where if you feel like giving a small donation every month, which helps pay for the technology that sits around me, not necessarily the tins of coconut milk, sorry, but go and check out Friends of Chasing Care on Buy Me a Coffee. Every little bit helps. So last breath in and out. And relax. So there you go. You've just completed a little bit more than a 15-minute session of the Chasing Care Foolproof Friday. I'll be back again 5:30 next week. My name's Gavin, and I've been delighted to share some time with you. If there's any questions, stick them in the comments below. And if you want some specific exercises for some of your ailments, maybe look back at some of the other sessions that you'll probably find in the link up here when we post this up on replay. So, till the next time, you take care, and thanks for being here.